Well, I cannot say that I'm surprised that Activision Blizzard waited until late Friday night to deliver a news statement on this massive Blitzchung situation, which has since broken into mainstream news with outlets like Fox News and CNN both discussing the outrage that Blizzard is facing for their cowardly decision to punish a professional Hearthstone player who gave his support to the Hong Kong protests. Blizzard is and has been trying to appease the Chinese government with their response, and I personally feel that they never expected so much backlash, but I think it is good that people are standing up and calling out these corporations which value money over freedom. But Blizzard has delivered a new response which, as I said before, the timing is a bit suspect because this is late Friday night and the stock market is closed with a weekend ahead, which is probably why they are hopeful that the outrage and backlash to this new statement will fizzle out by the beginning of next week, but I honestly have doubts about that. But if you have not been following this story, I highly recommend that you check out my previous videos on this mess, but a quick outline on what has happened is that professional Hearthstone player NG Blitzchung Wei-Chung, in a post-game interview on the official Taiwanese Hearthstone stream, gave his support for the Hong Kong protests by shouting "Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our age." And following that stream, Blizzard fired back with an outrageous punishment. Chung was being banned from competition for 1 year, and all of his prize money was taken away. Oh, and also the two casters interviewing him were terminated for some reason. No explanation was given, but essentially this choice Blizzard made was probably meant to appease the oppressive Chinese government. That was evident with their Chinese statement posted on Chinese social media, in which Blizzard had a much more aggressive stance, saying they would defend the pride of their country, China. But yeah, the last few days, tons of outrage has emerged from lawmakers around the world, slamming Blizzard. Pro players and casters have been quitting in protest. Thousands upon thousands are canceling their accounts and subscriptions to Blizzard, and other gaming companies like Epic Games have thrown shade at Blizzard's cowardly, greedy decision. But now finally we have a new response which will not make many happy because there are some massive lies within this statement that nobody is going to buy. But heading to Blizzard's website, this is their response to all of the anger regarding last weekend's Hearthstone Grandmasters tournament. Hello Blizzard community, I want to take a few minutes to talk to all of you about the Hearthstone Grandmasters tournament this past weekend. On Monday we made the decision to take action against a player named Blitzchung and two shoutcasters after the player shared his views on what's happening in Hong Kong on our official broadcast channel. At Blizzard, our vision is to bring the world together through epic entertainment, and we have core values that apply here. Think globally, lead responsibly, and importantly, every voice matters. Does it really though? Does it? Encouraging everybody to share their point of view. Ooh, okay. The actions that we took over the weekend are causing people to question if we are still committed to these values. We absolutely are, and I will explain. And let's just start off right there. I will acknowledge one thing. The only time that Blizzard is okay with every voice mattering is when it's not against the Chinese government, because money. I mean, that was evident, as I mentioned just a little bit ago, with that Chinese statement. You're not fooling anybody, but let's keep it going. Our esports programs are an expression of our vision and our values. Esports exists to create opportunities for players from around the world, from different cultures and from different backgrounds, to come together to compete and share their passion for gaming. It is extremely important for us to protect these channels and the purpose they serve to bring the world together through epic entertainment, celebrate our players, and build diverse and inclusive communities. As to how those values apply in this case, first, our official esports tournament broadcast was used as a platform for a winner of this event to share his views with the world. Share his views, or share the truth. Okay, Blizzard, that's one way to spin it. We interview competitors who are at the top of their craft to share how they feel. We want to experience that moment with them. Hearing their excitement is a powerful way to bring us together. Over the weekend, Blitzchung used his segment to make a statement about the situation in Hong Kong in violation of rules he acknowledged and understood, and this is why we took action. So about that rule, I'm going to bring it up one more time so everybody understands what this rule actually is. Section 6.1, engaging in any act that in Blizzard's sole discretion brings you into public disrepute, offends a portion or group of the public, or otherwise damages Blizzard's image, will result in removal from Grandmasters and reduction of the player's prize total to $0. So essentially, I brought up this analogy before, but saying something as simple as, I don't like soda, could be something that Blizzard takes issue with, and they could give this punishment. My point is, anything you say or anybody does anything, they could use this excuse. It's a horrible rule, and I don't even know if it's lawful for what they are doing. But let's keep it going. We'll go back to the statement. Every voice matters, and we strongly encourage everyone in our community to share their viewpoints in the many places available to express themselves. However, the official broadcast needs to be about the tournament and to be a place where all are welcome. In support of that, we want to keep the official channels focused on the game. That's not going to happen anymore. You better understand that. Because of this situation, you're going to keep on seeing protests, Blizzard, and the only one to blame is yourselves, because I still don't like this reaction. It feels like damage control, and I think that they're trying to make everybody happy, but that just cannot happen. It can't. But let's keep it going. Second, what is the role of shoutcasters for these broadcasts? We hire shoutcasters to amplify the excitement of the game. They elevate the watchability and help the esports viewing experience stay focused on the tournament and our amazing players. Third, were our actions based on the content of the message? Part of thinking globally, leading responsibly, and every voice matters is recognizing that we have players and fans in almost every country in this world. Our goal is to help players connect in areas of commonality, like their passion for our games, and create a sense of shared community. The specific views expressed by Blitzchung were not a factor in the decision we made. I want to be clear, our relationships in China had no influence on our Oh my gosh. This is what I mean. Nobody's going to buy this crap, and that's this part of this statement makes me so angry because nobody's believing it. There's Chinese companies that have investments in Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard's right now trying to get approval for Call of Duty Mobile in China. They have every reason to side with the Chinese government because they don't have values and all of this other nonsense that they're trying to say that they still believe think globally, leading response. They don't believe in any of that. Actually, I will say they do have one value, and that is money over freedom. I mean, there's a reason why Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Activision Blizzard, has not said anything about this situation, because he is a coward, and we already know how greedy he is. All the decisions he makes, it's always fueled by money, and that's their sole focus, and that's what their focus is with this statement, to try and make everyone happy. But that's not what's going to happen, unfortunately for them, and the backlash is going to continue. Additionally, let's just remember, a few days ago we discussed this, I believe, in the last video, but Blizzard employees staged a walkout in protest of the company's decision to punish Blitzchung. And within the article from the Daily Beast, which covered the Blizzard employees' protest, one employee said the company had been complying with government censorship requests within its games in order to keep doing business in one of its biggest markets. So no, I do not believe what they are trying to sell here. Our relationships in China had no influence on our decision. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Now, let's keep it going because there's still more to this statement. We have these rules to keep the focus on the game and on the tournament to the benefit of a global audience so they don't have to face the truth that's going on in China, and that was the only consideration in the actions that we took. If this had been the opposing viewpoint delivered in the same divisive and deliberate way, we would have felt and acted the same. But that didn't happen, and it hasn't happened, so you're just saying what... I don't believe that. Again, if this person, let's just say if Blitzchung, he had said something in support of President Xi, you actually think Blizzard would have punished him with a year ban and then also went on Chinese social media and said the following: "We are very angered and disappointed at what happened at the event and do not condone it in any way. We also highly object the spreading of personal political beliefs in this manner. Effective immediately, we banned the contestant from events and terminated work with the broadcasters. We will always respect and defend the pride of our country." Again, I call BS on this claim. I don't believe it for a second. So let's keep it going to more of this statement. Okay, what could Blizzard have done better, and where do we go from here? Over the past few days, many players, casters, esports fans, and employees have expressed concerns about how we determine the penalties. We've had a chance to pause, to listen to our community, and to reflect on what we could have done better. In hindsight, our process wasn't adequate, and we reacted too quickly. We want to ensure that we maintain a safe and inclusive environment for all our players, and that our rules and processes are very clear. All of this is in service of another important Blizzard value: play nice, play fair. In the tournament itself, Blitzchung played fair. We now believe he should receive his prizing. We understand that for some this is not about the prize, and perhaps for others it is disrespectful to even discuss it. That is not our intention. But playing fair also includes appropriate pre- and post-match conduct, especially when a player accepts recognition for winning in a broadcast. He simply said he gave his support for the Hong Kong protest in which individuals are fighting for their freedom. But okay, I guess that's inappropriate apparently. When we think about the suspension, 6 months for Blitzchung is more appropriate. 6 months, that's still a load of crap. I mean, just a few days ago, American University held up a Free Hong Kong Boycott Blizzard sign during the official Hearthstone broadcast, and Blizzard quickly went away from the screen and did not respond or say anything anything to them. But since they decided not to penalize or ban them at all for holding up the sign, and they ended up scheduling their next match, which it just shows how extremely hypocritical Blizzard is being with Blitzchung's punishment. 6 months, 1 year, there should be no punishment at all, but again, Blizzard has to appease the Chinese audience and the Chinese government more importantly. But again, back to this statement, we're almost over with it. When we think about the suspension, 6 months for Blitzchung is more appropriate, after which time he can compete in the Hearthstone Pro circuit again, if so he chooses. There is a consequence for taking the conversation away from the purpose of the event and disrupting or derailing the broadcast. With regard to the casters, remember their purpose is to keep the event focused on the tournament. That didn't happen here, and we were setting their suspension to 6 months as well. So again, they reversed their firing, I guess, but still 6 months. They're basically fired pretty much. And it should be added that one of the casters that was fired originally came out with a statement just the other day slamming Blizzard, saying he wasn't sure what he was going to do for income, but he would never work for Blizzard again, and he would never play any of their games. So it's unclear if they're even, or both of them, if they're even going to consider Blizzard's suspension for 6 months. Honestly, I think they're just going to move on, and I don't blame them for that. I wouldn't want to work for a cowardly company, and I still don't even understand. This statement doesn't really give detail for why they were fired. It just seems like they were thrown under the bus for really no reason. Moving forward, we will continue to apply tournament rules to ensure our official broadcasts remain focused on the game and are not a platform for divisive social or political views. Okay. One of our goals at Blizzard is to make sure that every player blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. At Blizzard, we're always listening. No, you're not. Okay. Thank you, JL and Brack. Cowardly response. I mean, I don't think Mike Morhaime would have given something like this, but it's a cowardly response. It's the only reason why they gave this statement, damage control. That's as simple as I can put it, damage control. So my opinion on this statement is it's pretty clear. I find it laughable and also disgusting what Blizzard is trying to do and trying to sell. Like Riot Games, they want players to shut up because money. They don't value freedom or want people acknowledging the atrocities and human rights violations happening in a country like China, which they have lots of financial interests in because money. I will find it very interesting how employees react to this statement, but we're gonna have to wait on that. But for now, there still is a lot going on. Like, this story comes from Tweaktown, and there are reports that Blizzard is banning forum members for 1,000 years over discussing Hong Kong. It's unbelievable what is happening, and Blizzard's reaction, because everything's just been so... You could call this probably the worst reaction ever to a debacle like this. Yes, worse than all the monetization crap, EA, Bethesda. This is far worse. Additionally, if you recall a digital card game, Gods Unchained, they were very critical of Blizzard's decision to ban Blitzchung for a year, and they pretty much took a direct shot at Blizzard in the statement that was posted on Twitter. Since then, they have actually been attacked or cyber-attacked. This is a report coming from Yahoo. Now, Immutable, the game studio behind Gods Unchained, says that it has been hit by cyber-attacks since doing so. Wonder where those attacks are coming from. I think I have a good guess, and maybe you guys can tell me in the comment section below what your guess is, but I'm pretty sure it's China. Tyler Perkins, Immutable's vice president of marketing, told Decrypt that as a result, some players are reported being unable to log into the game. We've been able to fight these off, he said, but have not analyzed them in enough detail yet to paint a picture on their origin. I mean, it's pretty obvious where it's coming from. But I mean, the outrage is not going to stop. We already have other US lawmakers jumping into the mix, giving their take on the situation. We already talked about the two US lawmakers, Democrat and Republican, slamming Blizzard earlier this week, and then just, I believe it was yesterday, Dan Crenshaw, a Republican in Texas, said, "I rarely share Vox, but the latest in woke corporate activism by Blizzard has managed to unite progressives and conservatives along common cause. Free speech matters. Standing up to communist censorship matters, and it should unite us as Americans." So, I mean, that's where we are for right now. It's going to be interesting how employees react to this and this whole industry, but all I'm seeing right now is a lot of upset individuals. The memes continue, the boycott continues, the protests, and it should not stop. The pressure needs to keep on going. Blitzchung doesn't deserve a suspension, and I just find this statement and this response as damage control at best. Or at least it's an attempt, I should say. But hey, BlizzCon, just a few weeks away, and no matter what Blizzard does, it's going to be a heck of an event because it's going to be all kinds of signs and cosplay, a lot of Overwatch May, maybe even we'll see some Fallout Liberty Prime. It's going to be eventful. I'm telling a lot of people that you should tune in. Maybe that guy from last year who said that maybe this is an out-of-season April Fool's joke, maybe he'll show up this time with a Hong Kong t-shirt. That'd be something. But that is where we are for now. This is a situation, again, that is quickly developing. It's really hard to keep up with everything that is happening. But I don't like Blizzard's response, and I'm not buying what they are trying to sell to us. But what do you make of it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and make sure to follow my other social media accounts for updates on new videos. Links are always down in the description below. I'm most active on Twitter, giving opinions on news that I do not always get into video form, so do make sure to follow me over there. Also check out my Discord for all sorts of discussion on games. And again, thank you for joining. Consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.